Hey everyone and welcome. When you think about fire, what comes to mind? For most of us, it's probably pretty positive stuff, right? Like a cozy fireplace, the glow of a campfire with friends, or maybe the candles on a birthday cake. It's all about warmth and light and celebration.
But what if that's not your reality at all? Just imagine for a second if that tiny, flickering flame didn't feel like joy, but instead it triggered this overwhelming, uncontrollable sense of dread. Okay, let's get into this, because for some people, that's exactly what happens.
So this intense fear, it's not just about being a little cautious. It goes way beyond that. It's a whole different level of fear, and it actually has a name.
And that name is pyrophobia. And listen, this isn't just about the fire you can actually see. The really crucial part here is that the fear can be set off by just the thought of a fire. That's what separates this from a healthy respect for danger. We're talking about a deeply ingrained, totally irrational fear that just takes over.
All right, so the big question is, where in the world does a fear this powerful even come from? I mean, it's rarely something people are just born with. It's usually something that builds up from different experiences in life.
Well, the origins can be pretty varied. For some people, it's super direct, like a traumatic event they went through, a personal encounter with fire that just hardwires that feeling of danger into their brain. For others, it's a bit more abstract, maybe a fear of losing control or seeing destruction, something they learn from the news or even movies. And sometimes, if a person already has an anxiety disorder, that anxiety can just sort of latch onto fire and focus all its energy there, creating a specific phobia.
So knowing the causes is one thing, but what does it actually feel like to experience pyrophobia? The reaction is both mental and, believe me, intensely physical.
At its very core, the experience is just this massive wave of anxiety. Think of it like your internal alarm system is broken, and it's just stuck on, screaming danger at full volume, even when the supposed threat is a single tiny candle. And we're not just talking about feeling nervous. This is a completely consuming panic. And that mental panic, it hits your body almost instantly. The body just slams into fight or flight mode. You get all the classic signs you see here: sweating, shaking, a heart that feels like it's about to pound right out of your chest. It's the body's physical reaction to the terror the mind is feeling. It is very real, and it is absolutely exhausting. Now, when you have psychological and physical reactions that are this strong, they don't just stay contained to the moment. They inevitably start to spill out and affect everyday life in some pretty profound ways.
This slide really illustrates the daily struggle perfectly. On the left, you see totally normal, often really joyful activities. But for someone with pyrophobia, those exact same situations, which you see on the right, they become these huge sources of anxiety. A summer bonfire isn't cozy, it's a threat. Cooking dinner isn't just a routine, it's a seriously stressful ordeal. Even a kid's birthday party can become something to dread.
And the logical outcome of all that? Avoidance. I mean, it makes sense, right? To prevent the panic, a person might start dodging social gatherings or refuse to cook or skip out on events. This just creates a cycle of constant stress and can lead to feeling really isolated, which of course impacts relationships and just your overall quality of life.
But here is the most important part. This is not a life sentence. Pyrophobia is a condition that can be managed and even overcome. The story doesn't have to end with fear. It can absolutely end with empowerment. So, what does that path forward actually look like?
The path forward is usually a pretty structured process. It often kicks off with therapy, like cognitive behavioral therapy or CBT, which helps a person learn to identify and challenge the irrational thoughts that are fueling the fear. This is often paired with gradual and very safe exposure to fire to slowly desensitize that fear response. Alongside that, you learn coping skills like relaxation and mindfulness to have tools to manage panic in the moment. And in some really severe cases, medication can help control the underlying anxiety, which makes all the therapy even more effective.
And this, right here, is the key takeaway. This quote says it all. There is hope and there is help. With the right support and the right tools, it is completely possible for someone to learn how to manage this fear and regain control over their life. It really makes you think, doesn't it? Fire is so common, so much a part of our world. Yet for some people, it holds this incredible, terrifying power. It leaves us with a final question to chew on. What other everyday things we take for granted, might be the source of someone else's hidden, uncommon fear? Thanks for joining me for this explainer.